All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakal Kodash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders at Great Millstone for teaching us his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Ayana brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you in another quick lesson. And the title of this lesson is Esau, this ain't no movie, or this ain't no effing movie, okay? And what inspired this lesson, I was watching this movie this movie Independence Day Resurgence, okay? And it was like a part two of that movie Independence Day that came out in like 1996 with Will Smith. This one didn't have Will Smith, had some of the old actors in it. But the point of the matter is that here it is, you got these Edomites with inferior technology or using so-called alien technology, beating the aliens, man, and having them on a run and getting help by a so-called alien force, and this is nothing more than Esau's delusions of grandeur. Again, this ain't no movie. What Yahweh Bashim Shai is bringing, okay, no man can beat. You don't have the technology on this earth to fight against it, but you got Esau trying to prepare to fight against the Lord. That's why they have something called the Space Force, right? Which was created under President Trump, the Space Force, but it was always in the workings. It was always in the makings of this devil. Okay, They got something called the United Space Force, which is supposed to be the sixth branch of the military. All right, and you got this Star Trek, this satanic symbol right here, Star Trek symbolization, you know, and this is what Esau is going to use to fight against the Lord. And they show these different movies like Independence Day, Independence Day Resurgence, all these space movies where it just so happens that the Edomites win at the end. All of a sudden, they want to put away their differences and forget all the wickedness that Esau done put on the planet Earth, and how he destroy people, and then they want you to come together to fight against the heavenly host. Okay, but you're not gonna win, and the scriptures speak about that, because what you're about to witness, what is about to happen during the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who is the Son of the living power Yahweh. Okay, it's going to be a million times greater than any movie you ever saw, because it's going to be in real life. And these chariots, these Edomites, they don't have the ability to fight against it. I remember hearing one Navy personnel man on a video saying that, the technology that the chariots have are 1,000 years ahead of America, of what man has today. All right. So again, this ain't no movie. Unlike your Independence Day movies where you win in the end, you're not going to win in the end. All right. And again, Esau has something called the uh, the United Space Force. I want to bring out a precept real quick. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" Right, and that's that pride. So your pride has deceived you. Your pride made you think that you'll always be in power, you'll always be in rulership, that nobody can bring you down, even the Most High. That's how you feel. When they created the Titanic, they said what God couldn't sink it, you know, and that's pride. That's absolute pride. So this devil, he created something called the United Space Force to try to fight off against Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, claiming that he's going out there to fight against an unknown force, but we know who that force is. So this says the United States Space Force. The United States Space Force, or USSF, is a space service branch of the U.S. Armed Forces and the world's only dedicated independent space force. Along with the U.S. Air Force, the Space Force is part of the Department of the Air Force, led by the Secretary of the Air Force. The military heads of the Space Force are the Chief Space Operations, who is one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Vice Chief of Space Operations. The Space Force is the smallest U.S. armed service, consisting of 8,600 military personnel. The Space Force operates 77 spacecraft and total across various programs. Yeah, and what are they trying to do? Again, they're trying to prepare to fight against the Lord, such as the GPS or the global positioning systems. This is their satellites, okay, along with their space weapons, the space fence. So it says the space fence is a second generation space surveillance system operated by the United States Space Force in order to track artificial satellite and space debris in our Earth, so they claim. Then you got the military satellites, communication constellations, and an X-37B, also known as the Orbital Test Vehicle, or OTV, is a reusable robotic spacecraft. It is boosted into space by a launch vehicle, then re-enters Earth's atmosphere and lands as a space plane. Yeah, and this devil, he really believed that this is going to fight against the Lord. Man, you crazy, man. You crazy. They got space planes, U.S. missile warning systems, U.S. space surveillance network. All right, and that's run by NASA. Okay, detects, tracks, catalog, and identifies artificial objects orbiting Earth, active, inactive satellites, spent rocket bodies, fragments, and debris. Because why are they doing this? Because they're looking out for the Lord. They know He's coming, and these people, through their pride, they believe that they can win. And again, they show you in these different movies that Esau's winning. Here it is. This man couldn't do any righteousness while he was in power, but all of a sudden, when a so-called alien force comes, he brings it all together, man. We're gonna take the fight to them. That's what they said at the end of that movie, right? Uh, it says the U.S. Space Force traces its roots um, in the beginning of the Cold War with the first military space programs, and blah 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 blah. You know, so yeah, this is a part of this. This is their Star Trek. This is Star Trek right here, man. You look at the Star Trek sign. It's the same thing as this Space Force shit. Again, they put it all in their movies. And these are satanic hand signs anyway. All of this is satanic, in nature. All right? And then they actually got a real one. Okay? But we're here to tell you that your Space Force is not enough. Again, going back to Obadiah chapter 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks. Who are the ones that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks? You Edomites, whose habitation is high. They make their habitation high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? This man believes that he's the most high. And he believes that he has enough firepower to fight against the Lord. And these super elite, they create these different programs, these different organizations to hide their true intent, which is that they want to hide from the Lord. That's the first thing they want to do, which they show you that in this movie where they went down into their bunkers, but they end up getting destroyed anyway, right? They want to hide, and they also want to run the whole operation from behind the scenes, okay? And they use trillions of dollars to invest in a real space force, right? With the hopes that they can overcome the Lord, but you're not. You're not going to overcome the Lord. Again, this ain't no fucking movie. This is real life. And you devils, you got the Lord's people in captivity. So you wonder why the Lord's coming back. Well, he's coming back for vengeance. He's coming back to repay you heathens for what you've done against the Lord's people, against the Most High, and against his people. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. Revelation 11 and 18 says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. Right, these nations are angry. They're scared and mad that the Lord's wrath is about to come on them. They watched the Lord wrath play out on us, and they did whatever they wanted to do us while we were being judged. And now it's their turn to get judged. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets. Right. And so not only is the Lord coming to destroy his enemies, which are these other nations, 2/3 of his own people, but he's also coming to bring a reward to his servants, the prophets, who, Lord willing, we endure to the end. We're hoping that we're some of them men. And that great reward is coming with salvation. It's coming with power. Like the elder Wakaya Kwam says, true power is coming. All right? Everything that this devil create in these different movies, and these different illustrations from comic books to real movies or whatever, guess what? That's really going to be here on earth. There really is going to be a group of people, a nation of people who are going to be gods on the earth, which is going to be us, the Israelites, because that's how it was set up from the jump anyway. And it's only right that the Lord allowed this devil's pride to get to reach such a height that he's going to use his power and might to destroy this devil. And he really ain't gonna use it. He ain't gonna use the full power, because the full power of one angel could destroy the whole planet, you know. But he's definitely gonna use his power and might through his son to destroy his enemies. And on top of that, we're gonna enslave the world, man. And we ain't gonna be no big giant squiggly aliens. Nah, ain't none of that. We're gonna be men, but men on a higher level, man. Okay? We're gonna be more than men. We're gonna be more than men, you know. But we're gonna be able to do the things that we do in this body, but on a higher level. And you Edomites and you other nations, you're not gonna fight it. You're not gonna have a true defense against that. Like the apostle to Tahar tell us that, hey, when we get them new bodies and we come out of them chariots and we come back down to the earth, okay, we're gonna, hey, you're gonna try to fight against us, but it ain't gonna be a fight to win. I'm gonna go back to Revelation 11, but let me get this precept real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw the new heaven and the new earth, Salakia. Yeah, yep. Revelation 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, which is a new rulership, and the earth is going to be bigger. The earth is going to be replenished. So that's that new earth. For the first heaven, which is the first rulership, you Edomites, and the first earth, this place that you see today, the way things operated and ran today, were passed away. And there was no more sea. And I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So that New Jerusalem is us. Okay, these Edomites, they say New Jerusalem, they want to picture like a city just coming out of the sky. Yeah, a gold city. No, 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 no. It's us. It's the Israelites. We are a people before we are a place. All right. And when we come out of them, out of the coming down from out of heaven, we're going to be coming down out of them chariots, out of the fathership, not a mothership. All right. And we're going to be coming down with power, and we're going to be glorified like our Lord Yahweh Shai is glorified. We're going to be like him. Okay. It says, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. All right. Going back to Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry that thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, which is the elect of Israel. And the saints are the Israelites, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So it ain't no winning for you, Esau. Again, this ain't no fucking movie. You're not going to win in the end. Wickedness is not going to triumph over righteousness. Righteousness is going to triumph over wickedness. Okay? See, all the stuff that you do in the dark, you think that the Lord don't see it, but he does. On top of that, it was Yahweh Shem Shai that gave you the power that you have. So the same one that gave it to you is going to be the one that take it away from you. That great sword, Yahweh Shem Shai is going to take it away from you. He's going to break it in pieces. All right? He's going to break you in pieces. And not only that, he's going to use his people to do it. Salakia. Spelled this wrong. He's going to use us as people to do it. Yep. Jeremiah 51 and 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. So we're gonna be a weapon, man, of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So the Lord's gonna use us to destroy you nations, man. He's gonna use us to destroy your kingdom, along with our heavenly brothers, which are the angels, along with our supreme brother, which is the son of the living power, the only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, along with King David, along with the rest of the 12 apostles and the 144,000. That's going to be the first branch, the governing body. How you think the earth going to be established? You think we're going to sit across the table and dialogue with you? Like you notice if you watch this movie, and in the previous movie, the alien come out and wrap his tentacles around one of the Edomites' neck, and it started speaking their English, and it was like, oh, we can learn from each other. And the alien was like, no, it's no peace. He says no peace. And the guy, the president asked him, well, what can we do? And the alien said it, die. And that's exactly the same sentiments that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to have for you devils. And not only that, we're going to have the power to bring you back to life. We're going to break you. We're going to break the nations into pieces, man. And with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So even when we come down out of them chariots and you try to come fight us, guess what? We're going to be a bunch of supermen. Supermen. Extreme supermen. Better than Clark Kent, man. No weaknesses, man. No spots. We're going to be impervious to any and everything, that any assault that you bring on us, man. And that's just one of us, man. Okay? So again, this ain't no movie. This is going to be real life, man. Because you got the Lord's people in captivity. And even your president, Ronald Reagan, he knew that. Let me play this real quick.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond.
And that outside universal threat is Yahweh Shai, is a threat to what? To Esau's kingdom.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Yeah. So and then he goes into his diatribe. But that alien force that's amongst them is us, the Israelites. We're that alien force amongst Esau because we're nothing like him. Even though you got 2/3 of our people acting like them and taking on the customs and the ways of the heathen, that's nothing. You still got the remnant, the elect here. And we're that alien force that's amongst these heathens, these what I was gonna say, these humans and their puny guns, man. And we're in a low state right now, but we're gonna be brought up higher. But that alien force that he was talking about is the Israelites, man.
What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than...
Yeah. And he talk about this universal aspirations. Me and the brothers last night, we did a video on exclusivity versus inclusivity, and we talked about that universal doctrine that they have. This universal thought of salvation for everybody and forgiveness of sins for everybody, and then we're all one. Did not Antiochus try to get people to be all one? Did not Nimrod try to get people to be all one? And it never works because there's not no universalism involved in this thing, man. And these nations, starting off with Esau, Edom, you've been putting hell on the Lord's people, man, trying to prevent the inevitable.
War and the threat of war. Universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war.
Well, war has always been here, man. Okay, when war is going to be stopped is when we are in our rightful place. When the land of Israel is reestablished, you nations not going to know war again. Okay, but as long as the devil is here, you always going to have wars. You always going to have people killing each other and destroying each other. That's why a new regime is about to be installed, and that's through Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Again, this ain't no fucking movie. You Edomites not gonna walk off into the sunset. You're not gonna high five your way out of this. You're not gonna thumbs up and good old job, buddy. Like that's not gonna happen. America is gonna be on complete fire. It's gonna be destroyed by nuclear fire and chariot fire. Okay? And it's gonna look like a lake of fire. All 50 states. This whole area is gonna be consumed with destruction, which is the wrath of the Lord. Because the Lord said, well, He going to destroy them that destroyed the earth, man. And He going to do it in an epic fashion. Here's another video.
Here, an artist's projection of the president's vision.
Banning into space, a layered defense to protect the country from nuclear devastation.
Yeah, they say a layer of protection to protect the country from nuclear devastation. No, it ain't that. They trying to protect against the lasers from the chariots, man, of the Most High. That's why the scripture says in Obadiah that he set his nest up high. Yep. The next verse, Obadiah 1 and 4. It says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, which he does that, though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. That's right. That nest goes back to their weapons. They set their nest weapons amongst the stars. But the Lord said he gonna what? He gonna bring them down. All right. It says, though thou exalt thyself. I want to read this in the NLT. See what it say. It says, but even if you soar as high as the eagles and build your nest amongst the stars, I will bring you crashing down, says the Lord. So all of this, all your satellites, all your ISSs, all these things that you got set up in the space that you can run to when all hell breaks loose, all that's going to be brought down to the earth, crashing down. So the term for nest, set thy nest, the Hebrew word there, nest, is kwan, which is nest, mess bird, cells like Noah's Ark, a nest, rooms, something including the nesting, figuratively, a chamber or dwelling. Your ISS space stations, all of that is going to be brought down. All right, it's going to be brought down to the earth, to the ground. Though you set your nest amongst the stars, okay, you're going to be brought down. All right, you're going to be brought down to the earth. You're not going to be able to do that. You know, this devil got delusions of grandeur. He gonna fly out and colonize Mars and do the same wickedness that he did on Earth over there. You know, he wants to enslave all the Israelites and shit, all people, not just the Israelites, all people. Using the MOTB, he using the satellite systems to connect people to the grid, so that they can what? So they can be eternal slaves. You know, let's keep on playing this.
U.S. spy satellites would watch the world below, detect Soviet missiles blasting off, compute the position and speed of each missile, alert battle stations in space, on Earth.
Battle stations. They got battle stations, man. Battle stations.
The first response. Space-based kinetic energy weapons fire high-speed projectiles from hypervelocity guns, intercepting
And this is
enemy.
what Esau would do. If he had the opportunity to colonize space, he'd bring the same war that he got on Earth out into the atmosphere. And come on, man. And you think that he ain't just fighting the Russians, man. They trying to fight Yahweh Bashmi Howard Shai, man.
Missiles as they are boosted through the atmosphere. Popped up into space. Earth-based nuclear-powered X-ray lasers fire their radioactive rays. Attack rays from land-based excimer lasers are redirected by huge mirrors orbiting in space. Chemical lasers fire beams that burn through the shell of the onrushing missile. Particle beam weapons with pulsing rays join the attack.
Yeah, so they trying to fight against the Lord, and they got all of this stuff already. They already got these lasers. They had a video of a laser shooting at a chariot, but the chariot got out the way. Yeah, this is the video right here. These lasers, this devil already got that, man. He just ain't showing Jake. He ain't showing Jake. He ain't showing you regular people. But he already got these laser things. And look what he was shooting at, a chariot. You'll see it. This is the chariot right here. And watch it leave. And then it left, and then a laser beam shot past it. It was trying to shoot the chariot. Look, you see it again. And by the time the chariot yeah, it says a UFO shot laser beam another UFO war in space. And who are in these chariots? Our brothers, the angels. All right. And they go to and fro the earth all day long. All day long. All right. And this is what the devil is trying to fight against. They know that we the Lord's people. And they got us in bondage. They know this. That's why the Lord's going to come and take this man out. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 5. Uh, I'll start at the top. The 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. All right, this was a vision. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And that man that waxed strong with the thousands of heaven is Yahushua. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. That's right. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea. And that's the multitude of men that came out to fight against Yahushua is Esau, Edom, and the rest of the world armies. Mainly their fighter jets, their drones, all of that. They gonna, just like they did in Independence Day, they were at odds with one another, and then they eventually did what? They came together and they fought against the so-called alien invasion, right? This is exactly, and this is where they get these movies from. All right. Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Right. He gonna have a huge chariot that Ezra couldn't see where it started or where it ended. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. That's right. Let me see what this says in the GNT. In the GNT. Yep. It says, well, let's leave. Oh, that's beautiful. And GNT, or the NRSA New Revised Standard Edition. Let's look and see what it says. It says, listen to this. 2nd Ezra 13 and 4 in the GNTA. It says, and when he spoke, everyone who heard his voice melted like wax in a fire. I looked again and saw a crowd too large to count. They were people gathered together from all parts of the world. So, there's going to be a third world war happening. They're going to be fighting each other. But when Yahweh Shai show up, they're going to stop fighting each other and they're going to turn around and try to fight against the Lord. It says, a crowd too large to count. They were people gathered together from all parts of the world to fight against a man who had come out of the sea. Then I watched the man carve out a high mountain and fly upon it, which is a chariot. I tried to see the place or the region from which the mountain was carved, but I couldn't. That's a huge fathership, man. Not a mothership, a huge fathership, man. Again, that's where they get the basis for a lot of these so-called space movies that they bring out. They read it from the scriptures, man. But see, in the scriptures, you Edomites lose. See, you take something called creative licensing and you try to change the narrative so that you win. But that's not going to happen. When Yahweh Shai comes and destroys you, you're not going to win. You're not going to win at all. Oh, Salakia. Salakia about that. So, yeah, so this devil, he want to try to fight against the Lord, but he ain't going to win. Let's keep on reading. Verse 2nd Ezra 13 and 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, yet there's fight, right? Because this ain't no movie where Will Smith gonna punch one of the angels in the face, and drag him out of the out of the chariot. That's not gonna happen, you know. Everybody that see these chariots and see the angels, and which are our brothers, and see Yahweh Shai, okay, they're gonna be scared, man. Shit, even we're gonna be scared, man. But the Lord's gonna be with us, right? So but these people that come to fight against the Lord, all these different armies, these military fighter pilots, and people who control these drones, man, they're gonna be scared as shit. But yet the Lord gonna give them the spirit to fight, so He can destroy them. And it's in the GNT, it says, then I saw all the people who had come together to make war against him were terrified, but they still prepared to fight him. Yeah, they were scared as shit, but yet they still prepared to fight against the Lord, man. They said they were terrified, man. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lift up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. All right? But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So he's going to be shooting concentrated fire, laser beams, man, at all those armies that come to fight him. If you watch this movie, there's a scene, let me see if I can find it. Fighter jet scene from ID4 Resurgence. Resurgence. Right? There's a scene. I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to show it. Yeah, like this. Independence Day plane scene where all these fighter jets come fighting the chariots. You know, Randy Quaid and he uses a nuclear missile to fly up in there and blow it up. Like, nah, man, you ain't gonna be able to destroy the chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. So yeah, all these scenes, these plane scenes, it's gonna be real life, man. But yet the Lord's gonna destroy them completely. All right, He's gonna destroy them completely. And it says, verse 11, and they were all mixed together. So that the concentrated fire, the sparks, the flames, the tempest, okay, they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, which is one big laser beam, man. The flaming breath and the great tempest fell with violence upon a multitude which was prepared to fight and burnt them up, every one, so that upon of a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, right? Because that's something that Edris, they didn't exist during the time of Edris' time. Fighter jets, you know, swarming the chariot, that didn't exist. But he was scared because that was a vision. But that's going to be reality when the Lord destroys this place and this devil. And in the GNT it says, then I watched a man carved up Salakia. It says, when a man saw the great crowd advancing to attack him, he did not take up any weapons. The only thing I saw was what looked like a stream of fire. That's a laser beam coming out of his mouth. He sent a flaming wind from his lips and a storm of spark from his tongue. The stream of fire, the flaming wind, and a great storm combined. And it swept down on the crowd that was coming to attack him and burned them all up in a single moment. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. This ain't no movie. This is real life right here. That crowd took that crowd, too large to count, vanished, and there was nothing left but powdery ashes. So the Lord, you seen that movie? What's it called? War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, when the people just dehydrated, man. He just straight up, the chariots are turning people into ashes, man. That's what Yahweh Shai gonna do to these armies, man. And the smell of smoke, I was shocked when I saw what happened. Yep. So again, man, this ain't no fucking movie, man. This is gonna be real life, real deal. Yahweh Shai gonna take um Yahweh Shai gonna take this man out, man. And this man is not gonna, he's not gonna win. Okay, he's not gonna win. All right. And this devil, Ronald Reagan, he knows that this is happening. That's why when Trump came into office, he created something called the Space Force. Right? They're supposed to be the head of all of that. Right? Super, always above. You know, that's the devil for you, man. He thinks that he's always going to be high, but you about to be brought low. You Edomites about to be brought low. Hey, so with that, I hope you were edified. I'll say shalom on to the next.